Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about my two most favorite topics, and one is eyeshadow palettes, as you guys all know, and the second is the fall season. Now because we have fall right here, I am so excited to play with like jewel tones and colors, and I do have another video on this channel talking about like my favorite jewel tone palettes, so I'll link that in the icons above for you guys to check it out. But today we're going to talk about my top palettes from my collection that I love to play in the fall season. We have some like old favorites and some new ones. I am so excited. Some of them are discontinued, which I hate to discuss with you guys, but we're gonna enjoy makeup all in general. So if you're interested to see which are my top fall palettes for 2022, then please keep on watching. Okay, the first palette that I have to talk about is Sydney Grace Tiny Marvels palette, which was collaboration palette with Mel Thompson. And this palette is a definitely like, it screams fall to me with those burgundy tones, with those purpley tones, like mauvey tones. I really feel that this palette is like completely fall. If you take out these two, it's like a fall palette to me, like completely a fall palette to me. I absolutely love the quality of this palette. When I think about Sydney Grace, it's just screams quality products to me. No matter what product you try from them, I really feel like Sydney Grace as well as M Cosmetics, those are the two brands that just screams quality. I have nothing in my collection that I've tried from these two brands that like has disappointed me in one bit. So this definitely screams fall. I'm gonna swatch a few shadows for you guys so that you guys know how these like shadows perform, and I love it, absolutely love it. I'm not going to swatch all of the palettes, but yeah, some of them totally required, right? Oh my god, this pigmentation is to another level. Like, look at that. If you guys have not tried Sydney Grace before, like, do me a favor, start with eyeshadows, because their eyeshadows has like some amazing quality, really top-notch quality. So that is going to be my first palette. The next palette is an old favorite, not that old, it's from Too Faced, and we're going to talk about my pumpkin spice palette. Now this is definitely one of my top palettes from Too Faced that they have ever come out with. This year also they're coming out with like pumpkin spice part 2. I definitely like this one better than that. I'm not even like eager to purchase that one because it just screams like another brown neutral palette to me. This has so many shades, so many options to choose from. This truly, I feel like this was their standout palette from their collection. If I have to like declutter everything and I just need to pick out two palettes from Too Faced, one is going to be my matte, the all natural matte palette. You know what I'm talking about? What is that called? Nudes palette? Something with like pinky brown shades all throughout, but different texture. And this palette would be like my top favorites from their line, at least in my opinion. Like, I really love this. Let me swatch a few shades. I am so excited to play with this palette this fall. Cannot. And they have some like grungy tones in this, and some like, you know, pumpkin spice ginger tones. Really pretty. I have two mattes and two shimmers, and just looks so nice. Like, the pigmentation is superb, like absolutely stunning. Love it. Cannot wait to try this out. If you guys want to see like a fall inspired makeup look using any of these palettes, do leave it down in the comment section below. I'll happily film it for you guys. My favorite part among like the Too Faced palettes in general, the experience, is that all these like tin packaging smells like something or the other. Generally it does smell like chocolate. This one smells more of a pumpkin spice latte kind of smell. I prefer the chocolate ones, but this color story, top notch. Okay, the next palette might seem like a neutral palette, but this is like a staple palette that I need to have in my collection. So I definitely want to talk about it. And this is Hindash's Beautopsy palette. It's so sleek And so, I don't know, it screams like glamorous to me. It seems like essential to me. It seems like it can do everything, like for the face as well as eyes. I really, really love it. And this is his first palette, and I use this almost every day of my life. I really do. Like if I have anything on my eyes that feels like not blended well, I just pop like one shade out of this palette and it'll blend it around the edges, and that just does everything for me. This palette doesn't swatch well because it's meant to be like more for the face as well as eyes, so it's less pigmented but buildable. It really again screams quality to me. I do have Beautopsy as well as the Monochromance palette with me, but out of the two, if you ask me, this is definitely my favorite and most used ones. Really, really love it. But let me swatch a few. Again, you can mix as well as like dip into like one shade, but still it's such nice quality. Now this is like a matte heavy palette, so definitely keep that in mind. If you are like into shimmers, this is not the palette for you. But if you want a palette to be like a staple in your collection, this is gonna be super, really, really pretty. Now Hindash is a painter. He loves mixing shadows, and I do too actually. I really love mixing my shadows that I have in my collection and to create a new shadow. And I really love mixing and matching these shadows so much. And that's when like you actually can create so many different shades when you mix. I really, really love it. Okay, the next palette that I have to talk about is from Glamlight, and it is their Dirty Martini palette. Now I know what you're thinking, Smithy, you love a green palette? Yes, it's an exception. I am not big into greens, but this green palette definitely made me fall in love with greens. The shimmers are the ones that stands out to me. Mattes, I don't use that much, I won't lie. Like I do use them. I love these like grungy tones, like in the bottom row. This is super, super punchy for me, as well as this green olive shade, but rest everything. It's so glamorous. It is green, yes, but it's all wearable kind of green, especially the shimmers. Once you put those shimmers on the eyes, it is fantastic. It just looks supreme. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let me show you a few shadows. You know, I need to swatch the mattes as well as shimmers so that you know both. But truly speaking, shimmers are the ones that really stands out to me. Not saying that their mattes are bad or anything, but shimmers like cannot be beat. Like really, really pretty. Like look at that. Yes, it is a green palette, but it's green like with a twist. I really, really love it. Look at those shades. Come on. Really love it. I say I'm not a green person. I'm actually wearing a green shimmer on my eyes. It's not a green shimmer. It's like a yellow shimmer. But when I put it on the eyes, it shifts to a little more on the greener side. I definitely can see it in the viewfinder. When you guys are seeing it, it's more like a pink to a gold to a green shifting shadow. I love it. I'll tell you exactly what shade I have on my eyes when I reach there. Okay, so moving along. The next eyeshadow palettes, if this palette doesn't scream fall to me, I don't know what palette screams fall to you. This is Melt Cosmetics Mariposa palette, Amori Mariposa palette. And this landed in my collection like this year. But for the jewel tones, if I am looking for like a jewel tone palette, this is the only palette that just screams, jumps out to me in every angle. The standout shades of this palette are the mattes. Not saying that the shimmers are not good, because the shimmers are not like shifty. It's like thick, opaque shimmer. Like it's really, really pretty, but the mattes are like standouts, like absolute standouts. So let me swatch a few. It's really pretty. I should show you one shimmer at least, right? Like such pretty shades. Like look at the pigmentation. It is absolutely stunning. Oh my god, yes. If you can find this palette at a sale price, which I picked it out at a sale price for like $28. Initially, like the retail price of this palette is like $70. I would say for $28, it's a steal. It's absolutely a steal. I won't say is it worth $70 or not, but I picked it out for $28 and it is well worth more than $28 for sure. Okay, the next palette that we're going to talk about, it landed in my collection like a few months ago, but this palette, truly a special palette in my collection. And I'm talking about Gourmand Girl's Ethereal palette. If you do not have a lot of multichromes, duochromes in your collection, I would say you just need like an all shimmer palette like this with an amazing quality, and you can plop any mattes in your crease for the added like matte look, but pop one shimmer from these palettes onto your eyes and it will create magic, like absolute magic. So I went to office today. I was wearing the mattes from another palette. I'll let you know what it is when I reach there. I just plopped this yellow shade, Lucent, right in the center of my eye, and I went to office. It was pretty shimmery. It's really, really nice. Let me swatch that for you. Like when I swatch this at the back of the hand, you can see like that green popping through, and that's what you're seeing in the viewfinder. But in my angle, it seems super pink. Can you see that? It seems super, super pink. So basically that's what I had on my eyes. Now, after coming back, I just wanted to like retouch and I really wanted to play with a little more shades. So what I did, I took Radiance and I plopped it right on the edges. And that pink shift that you see is that pink to an orange shift is from the Radiant shade. That's all that I have on my eyes and I love it. Like I absolutely love these shimmers. Like without a doubt, one of the standout products in my collection for sure. Like I absolutely love it. Let me swatch a few more shades for you guys. Oh my God. What should I even swatch? These are all so pretty. Like so pretty. Like look at that. And all of them shift to different shades. Like it's really, really amazing. You can add like any black base underneath and it will shift to another shade altogether. But these, I have like a dedicated video using this palette and creating 5 looks using this. I would link it in the iCards above for you guys to check it out. But really, really special palette in my collection. So this I'm super excited to work with all year round, but for the fall, for sure. Now my hands are like all sparkly. Not complaining about it one bit, but I really want you guys to see what I'm swatching. Okay, the next palette is the mattes that I am using today on my eyes, and this is from Dominique Cosmetics and it is their Latte palette. I don't know if you guys can find this palette anymore or not. If I can find it, I'll definitely link it in the description box below for you guys. Just like the Beautopsy palette, this is one of the staple palettes in my collection and I don't think I can get rid of this anytime soon. This was like my #1 palette for last year. It's truly a shame that this has been discontinued. If anybody from the Dominique Cosmetics team is watching this, I don't care if you have to get another packaging or like updated or whatever, just get these shades back because this people love and adore, especially me. I really want to talk about this and I want my people to get it. Okay, so please get this back because this is amazing. Okay, this quality is absolutely stunning. Hazelnut is like my favorite shade of the palette. But even like when you talk about the shimmers, it's so creamy. It's so creamy. Absolutely love these shades. It definitely is like a staple in my collection and I love it. Absolutely love it. The shimmers are like super opaque, super creamy, and the mattes are so blendable. Very, very beautiful formula from Dominique Cosmetics. I would highly, highly recommend this. And no matter what season of the year it is, Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette is gonna be in constant rotation. Okay, the next palette that I'm gonna talk about is Sigma's Warm Neutrals palette. Now they have like different versions of this palette. They have like a 7-pan eyeshadow palette also. Just picking out the shades, like essential shades from this palette and having a smaller mini palette. This is the color story that people were like going nuts for last year. And I really love my burgundy tones for the fall, and this is a beautiful burgundy palette. I recently did like a chatty get ready with me duping like Natasha Denona's My Dream palette. I'll link that also in the iCards above. I use this palette mainly and I was in love with the look. This is the beautiful palette that we're talking about and it has some gorgeous shades. The shimmers are really sparkly, the mattes are really blendable. I really adore this palette. Definitely wait for a sale for Sigma because they often have like a sale going on, and that is when it is best to try like Sigma eyeshadow palettes, and they are absolutely lovely. Let me swatch a few shades. Like, look at the pigmentation and look how pigmented and stunning those mattes and shimmers are. Really pretty. I have quite a few collection from Sigma Beauty, and you just need to have your color story picked out from them and you will not be disappointed. I love their ambience palette. I love their Corda Rosa palette. This is another one that is like really up my alley. I really love Sigma Beauty, and for a reason, I would say. Like, the shades are super blendable, super pigmented. Absolutely love them. Okay, now let's talk about a bougie eyeshadow palette, which I tend to use mainly in summer and fall, and I have to talk about it. This is Pat McGrath's Bronze Seduction palette. This is the Mothership number 5, and this again screams fall to me, and mainly because of that red and this burgundy shade. And these shimmers I use like all year round, but generally speaking, those main shimmers as well as this burgundy shade and this red shade just screams fall to me. Absolutely beautiful it is, and I love the quality of these mattes and shimmers. Is it worth $125? Absolutely not. I don't think anything is worth $125, but is it beautiful? Yes, for sure. So let's swatch them. Really pigmented shadows. Look at that. You definitely can get this quality in indie brands too. You don't need to like invest $125 for this, but if you have it in the collection, definitely take it out and get some use out of it, because this is beautiful. And because you've invested so much money onto it, just get it out and use it. Okay, now this video cannot be complete without mentioning this palette. From the time this is landed in my collection, I look for a reason to use this palette, and this is beautiful color story and beautiful quality. I really want them to come out with like a concise palette, like a smaller palette, so that more people can like use it and experience the formula. And I'm talking about Dominique Cosmetics Primal palette. Yes, I'm not a rainbow person, but you bet this palette has made me fall in love with colors, and these are like my tones now. I was very sure that I'm gonna love the shimmer row as well as this third row, but I love to incorporate these shades like in the second row in my looks, and they give such a great punch on the eyes. I love it. I absolutely love it. And these pastel shades really show up on my tan skin tone, and I love it. Absolutely a stunning, gorgeous palette in the collection, and in general in their line, I would say. If I have to change one thing, I would change the bigger pans of the black and the white. I would have been okay if the black and the white was like smaller, and I need more shades. I'm just greedy for more shades. In the Blend Bunny formula, I would have never like agreed if I was in their marketing team or like their decision-making team for giving like bigger shades. I understand why they have like bigger pans and all, but I mean, no one is hitting pan on that. Nobody is like getting this big of a shadow used up, you know? I know, if you're a makeup artist, yes, for sure, but you can make a single for that. You don't need to include that in the palette. Like, I love this palette. I need more of it, but in a smaller size. That would be great. Okay, now the last 3 palettes, all of them are discontinued. So I have to talk about it because I would definitely use this in the fall season, but I'm gonna run over it. Like, I'm just gonna run over it. Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette, like a staple in the fall season, like absolutely beautiful formulas. My fall cannot end without using this palette. I use this in and out like several times in the year, and this is beautiful. Yes, it's a shame that you cannot find it, but this, if you have it, you know exactly what I mean by it. Like, I love this. I started my channel using this palette, and I think till the time I'm getting out of YouTube, this is gonna be in my collection. The next palette that I have to talk about is from Beauty Bay, and this is their Age of Opulence palette. Again, this palette is a limited edition palette, but These jewel tones, these shimmers are absolutely gorgeous. Again, I have several videos using these palettes on my channel, so just give it like a search and you will find everything. And this is again a very stunning palette. Mattes are blendable, pigmented, the shimmers are out of this world gorgeous. I absolutely love it. And the last palette that I have to talk about is another Anastasia palette, and it is their Amrezy palette. Again, I don't know why these palettes are discontinued. Like, this again screams fall to me, but with a twist of a few shades here and there. But again, those burgundy tones, those like magenta tones, those browns, I mean, these are just staple. Like, and the quality is so beautiful. I love to play with this in like the fall season, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So yes, these are the palettes that I would be interested in like playing in this September, October, maybe mid-November also. I love it. I absolutely love these palettes, and I cannot wait to see what palettes are going to come in the industry in like, especially in that Black Friday season when a lot of mainstream brands push out palettes. Like, I'm super interested. But yes, if you did like this video, you exactly know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.